be able to.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Wedding Film School Live. My name is Bobby, and I am joined today by, well, actually, I'm joined by a new host. It's not Jay, it's Backward Hat.
Backward Hat Jay.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, you know, I keep it light. I take it easy, you know. Sleep till probably 11 every day.
I just can't pull it off.
I'm really focused on my work-life balance.
Yeah.
By balance, I mean mostly life.
I'm a content creator, bro.
Yeah. Sometimes I skateboard, sometimes I ride a Segway.
I just do what I want. You can't stop me. There's a lot of talk in chat about snow. I'm not liking that. Jay, are you ready for that?
I love snow.
I'll take it for like 2 weeks, but that's kind of my. Then I'm over it.
No, here's my thing with snow. And all of that stuff is
all that snow stuff.
Just anything, like also being sick. People are like, oh, I hate being sick. I hate this. I like when I'm sick a little bit, and I like when I have snow.
What?
Listen, because I can't stop myself from working.
All right, okay, I get that. We all get that. Right?
Yeah. So
guys,
like that.
Off in chat, we get that.
So then I go like. Oh, I'm sick. I guess I can play video games for 10 hours.
That's true.
And it's kind of like, it's kind of nice. Nice little break.
Sometimes you need the force, like, you know, I think the whole, like, let's call it the grand sphere of being, like, an entrepreneur. It's very easy to work yourself too hard. So those forced breaks, I guess they can be good. I don't really get sick. Like, I mean, knock on wood.
Oh, me either.
Right?
I need to get sick more.
It's not like the winter is like automatically I get sick or something, but
not like it's some kind of weakling.
It's just so brutal. Like I have 2 weddings this winter too here in Minnesota. A lot of times I have weddings.
Well, Minnesota snow is a different animal.
Yeah, it's different for sure. That's fair.
Like the snow we have out here, like we can get 34 inches of snow and then it'll be like melt in 2 weeks.
Yeah, no.
You guys will just get
34 inches, and then it will just add to whatever we've already had, and then it'll snow another 34 inches in 2 weeks, and yeah. So anyway, we've got a fun show for you today, and actually, that is going to be that topic kind of come up a little bit later on something we want to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to talk, guys, about bad weather weddings and anybody who's been in the Northeast. But I don't know, how has it been for you guys this year? We've had a lot of bad weather.
Yeah, we'll get to that topic. Maybe we'll do a film then get to that topic. But we want to hear in chat now, what has your season been like in regards to weather? Like last year, every wedding I had, beautiful. Mm-hmm. This year, a lot of rainy weddings.
Most of my career, man. I was like, I can think on like one hand before this year how many weddings I've done that have been rainy.
Yeah.
Like really rainy, not like had spots of rain, like wiped out from rain. And 2 of them were on hurricane days.
I'm being told I need to turn my head around. I'm gonna match Jay. Hold on.
This podcast is gonna take, or I mean, this live stream is gonna take on an entirely different.
We're gonna blow up.
What's up, brah?
Whoa, who am I? I have this, though. It doesn't really work very well with
it. Looks pretty stupid.
Yeah, I tuck it in because there's not a place for it.
Yeah.
And my head's too tiny.
You need a different hat, maybe.
So you can screen grab this right now.
For a new persona.
And now it's going back the other way.
Yeah. A new persona. Someone posted in the group. Backwards hat, bros.
I have such an odd-shaped head. Most hats don't fit me. It's very
Bobby.
Annoying. Welcome to my life.
You're beautiful at any size.
Oh yeah, I know that. I'm just saying. Cool. Well, let's cue up the first video now that we've chatted about.
I didn't do that actually. So you stall. All
right. So I will go through chat because there's a lot. Okay, this is interesting to me. Max Smith. Hey Bobby, we might be moving back to the Minneapolis area. Very very cool. Is that like what are the odds? Are you guys figuring stuff out? Do you have any questions? I know you had connections here, or like you used to be here, or something like that. But yeah, would love to know. Would love to have another great wedding filmmaker here as well. And
still work from you? That'd be great.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah.
So yeah, just don't do it. Probably.
Yeah, maybe don't.
But yeah, are you guys looking at like actually Minneapolis or like like an outskirt? Or I feel like you and I talked about this, but I can't remember where you were, where you had connections to. But yeah, that'd be sweet. We've said this a million times now that I've got potentially Max, and then I know Grant's in here, Brad's in here. We need to do like a Minneapolis meetup or something.
I would love to come to that. Let me know when you're going to do that.
A handful of Midwesterners.
I'll hop on a flight and head over there.
Hop on a plane. You could hop on a train. Take like 4 days to get here.
I was saying, that sounds like a bad idea.
Forced break.
I do like that.
You can't work.
I will work though.
Yeah.
I'm good to go, by the way,
Nigeria.
Bob.
Cool. All right, I've stalled enough. All right. First up, we have. I could be wrong. I think it's Grant.
Yes.
Cool. So we've got Fitzgerald Films with a film. And Grant, many thanks for being a member, which is getting you some priority, making sure we review your film. All right. So Grant says this was a terrible day. Just kidding. It wasn't. Okay, perfect. Well, that's good. Biggest things about this day, he experimented using log, and Grant shoots Canon, I believe. And Catholic wedding, I love shooting that. Low-key couple, easy photographer to work with. Tried something a little different with the beginning of the film. May not be everybody's cup of tea, but I like the story. Wasn't sure how else to fit it in. And yeah, so shot on 2 Canon R7s, the R10.
Grant,
and,
really quick, if there's a minute we should skip in the film, what should the minute be? Give us a little.
Yeah, I gotta imagine. I feel like we need to watch the first
definitely
3 and the last 3 or something, but definitely because that's specific.
Where does the film suck the most? Let us know.
Yeah,
and
please tell us what part you hate.
Yeah. The groom's mom, she was terrible. Let's make sure this.
We got some other Canon shooters in here too. I like it.
My audio, where is it?
Oh, cool. Yeah, Bloomington is, 10 minutes for me.
Side by side.
Yeah,
it's working.
We could do some networking. I feel like I know more filmmakers than anything. I don't have we do get, or you do get full reviews, but it's still up to 5 minutes, and this is a 6-something minute film.
We might do it, but if there's a part where I'm like, yeah, we don't need to see this.
We'll just watch, and then if we get bored, we'll say.
Honestly, guys, what's funny about wedding filmmaking, and maybe I'm just grizzled and jaded, but the part I least am interested in any of your films is the ceremony. It's just they're all
fair. It's not because we dislike it. It's just there's only so much. I mean, really, all we're looking at is how does this build on the story, but coverage, stuff like that.
Did you expose it well? Was your camera positioning good? Typically, most people, it's fine. So if it's bad, you know what's funny too about that? Actually, it's the first thing you need to do right too. It is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But it's just
the film can fall apart without it, but it's also for us, we're just meh.
We're basically reviewing highlight films, and it's I always think about that. But anyway. The format.
All right, here we go. From Grant.
There is sound at the beginning, by the way, guys, but it's all kind of ambient. So if you're not hearing anything, it's because that.
Because you got to crank your volume. Birds.
I'll leave you all with a sweet story about Katie and Christian.
Nice.
I went to Mass with them, and after we had said goodbye, I got into my car and watched Katie and Christian walk across the parking lot. As they were walking side by side, they did something that unexpectedly brought tears to my eyes. They simply reached out for each other's hand and
I know
held
that
on
place.
as they made their way to the car. It was a mere 6 seconds of hand holding, but that moment struck me as such a beautiful and simple testament of their love. Side by side, reaching out for the other and holding close. Please keep doing that in your marriage.
Katie, I can't believe the day is finally here. I'm beyond excited to start this life together, regardless of how nervous I may seem. I'm so blessed to have you by my side through it all, and I can't wait to see you walk down the aisle.
To my best friend and the love of my life. Our best day ever is finally here. Today is the day that I finally get to call you my husband, today and forevermore.
I want to thank the Nielsen family for the gift of Christian. Thank you so much. Yeah, good. I'm sure he's been a blessing to you all his life, and now he's a blessing to my family. So I thank you for that. Christian, you just seem to fit in right away. I think somebody else said that too. You just kind of, just a natural with our family, but now you're officially in the family. So I want to welcome you to the family because I'm very proud that you're my son-in-law. So
You are the man I've prayed my entire life for. You are my whole heart and my home. You are such a good man, and I'm so blessed to call you mine. I can't wait to be your wife, to become a family, to go on adventures, to keep falling more in love with you every day, and to create memories with you by my side. See you at the end of the aisle, handsome. I love you endlessly.
welcome everybody here, this beautiful, blessed occasion. I thank you for being here. I mean, you're very, very, very important to us. You're just simply gifts from God to Katie, to Christian, and to my entire family. I mean, it's a day of Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna push a little bit forward.
Cool.
As you guys make that gift, you also receive a mission. And that mission is to get the person sitting next to you into heaven. The big mission, especially for you, Katie. You got a lot of work. Thank you.
Aren't men stupid?
Take a look. All the beautiful friends and family that you have here to support you.
Thank you both for welcoming me into your lives and letting me be a part of launching your new life together. My world and our friends' worlds are better with you in it. I love you both so much.
Although members of our family have teased you relentlessly over the years about when you were going to finally propose to Katie, we know that God's timing is always perfect.
So happy for both of you, and I pray that you will walk our head.
God's like, no, you cannot propose. I love when people say like, dear Lord, can I propose to Katie today? No. Kate, why don't you propose to me? God told me I can't propose to you, so blame him.
The Father's provision and never step out of his divine protection for the rest of your lives.
It's my joy to introduce to you for the very first time Mr. and Mrs. Katie and Christian Nilsson.
We wish you and Christian the best. I think I should put my arms up and say, Katie, we love you.
I'm getting emotional just writing this because there are just so many great things to say about you.
I like that show.
Grant, please explain what that grandpa said to me in chat. I feel like I'm missing
DM.
context to that, so I'd like to understand that.
I love you so much, and I can't wait to finally call
There we go. Here's the groom.
soon-to-be husband, Christian.
He was in there before.
Was he? I feel like I blocked him out. Maybe
he was like the first letter reading.
Let me just hear it really great.
And watched Katie reach the end of their love.
No. Oh yeah.
Life together, regardless of how nervous I may seem.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, look at my short-term memory working its way there. Sweet. Awesome film. So if you are new here, what we do is we watch the film, and then we're going to go through things that we like, things that we think that this filmmaker excelled at, things that we think they should lean into or doing well, as well as things that we think could be done differently, or kind of, what could they change in their next film to make the biggest impact or growth. We want to meet you all where you're at, and it's not a rating. We're not giving you a 9 out of 10 or anything like that. We're just letting you know, from our experience, how we might have done some things differently, and we want to hear from you in chat as well if you have any thoughts along the way. So with that said, Jay, what are some things that you liked about this film?
I liked. First of all, he had a lot of. I mean, his audio sounded great.
Yeah.
I feel like we give filmmakers a little too much credit for that sometimes. It's like
getting easier and easier, but
it sounded
still able to screw up.
Yes, it sounded great. I didn't see anything in there that was like, this is terribly exposed, and I know they were shooting log, and so I felt like it looked great. Like, it didn't look loggy. It looked good. I felt like, it's interesting, man. I always want to remind myself that a couple might watch this, because the last thing I want someone to hear is like I'm saying, their wedding day was boring or something.
Yeah.
It's not anything negative. But
I think if a couple is watching, I think you just you got to come from the standpoint of we see everything.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
This right here is a run of the mill standard wedding. There's
in
nothing
the best way too.
Yeah, there's nothing particularly, except for the people, which is really the most important part of every wedding. But in terms of he didn't have a bunch of layups with this wedding. We're
it's not there's a $150K spent on flowers.
Yeah, so you just put 10%
the most
of the
epic
film.
venue ever.
Yeah. So that being said, I felt like for a standard wedding film with a normal couple, he did a very good job making it feel very heartfelt, very them, very them. They seem laid back. They seem and then it looks nice. It's got good color. I always like his color, but I think it's gotten so much better. And this looks, for trying log, you can really screw up. So good job.
Yep. Yeah, I think graded really well. He has his look, and it's kind of his normal look. So knowing that he was playing around with log and whatnot, really well executed. There was 1 or 2 shots where skin tones stood out, and I think it was your 4th or 5th camera during the ceremony, and I think that would be why. And my guess is those didn't shoot log. Another thing that I think he did a really, really good job at, I love certain shots are framed really well, stuff like that. I really like the wide, first dance shot, just very symmetrical and cool and whatnot. But one of the things that I think he did really well that gets often overlooked is, especially sticks out to me because I know a lot of these locations where he shot at.
Yeah.
There are a lot of setups that he's shooting in where he is being very intentional with his framing and framing things out. And so in a lot of the prep, you're seeing a lot of, tighter shots for the most part. And I think that's something we all are aware of and can do at time to time, but I think it's done really well in this film, really leaving out some things that aren't as visually pleasing. They're getting ready in this church, and there's just no it's not the same. It's just, it's just an old church, but not cool old, right? So some of that, and then they're shooting a place called Centennial Lakes for a lot of the couples portraits, and it is very pretty, but it's always packed. There's people everywhere. So really good framing in keeping the focus on the couple and not having, too many distractions. And I think that's really important.
So, Bobby, is there anything that just stood out to you that like you think?
Yeah,
I think in particular, I think in particular, this film, from a story perspective and editing perspective, I saw some things. So, what about you?
I think my biggest thing was actually, sorry, my chair has like shifted. And
You're
now
allowed to
I'm
move.
If some
I can do as much as I
gimbal-
want because I'm wearing a backwards hat, so like I could go.
That's true. It's some of the gimbal moves for me that didn't match a lot of the other film, and that's pretty nitpicky. But there was a sequence where you shot, I think it was the statue of Mary, and then it was the pews, and then it was one other thing, and then we just saw a gimbal shot right there. I forget what it was. What it was when I brought this up. Oh, it was some of the tables where I think some of your gimbal stuff was too fast for me, and it didn't. It broke me out of the film a little bit because it stood out, I guess, is what I would say. So that's really the only main. I think I mentioned a couple shots where I think the skin tone was a little bit off, but I think it was your your fourth, fifth camera, whatever. But yeah, I'd love, Jay, if you got some stuff more on the storytelling and the editing, I think that would be good to dive into. And I see that you are indeed backwards hat Jay with your guitar. Dude, you play guitar, bro? Bro, you strum the strings? I love this frame too.
Yeah, I like. I'm just big into the DMB.
Talented.
Okay, so here's my biggest thing about the film. It felt like a tiny day, and and maybe it was, but I have a massive level of sensitivity to this as a wedding filmmaker. Like when I'm shooting, and by a small day I mean not a lot of movement, not a lot of different locations, not a lot of different happenings.
Which is ironic because there was at least 3 locations.
It looked like the same location all day. As far as it looked to me like they literally got ready in the basement of the church. I know this is separate.
Be right.
and so to me, one of my biggest
have a guitar, unfortunately.
One of my biggest goals as a wedding filmmaker is to not make it look like that. How do I make it look like? I don't know why. This is maybe just a self-imposed rule where I want the day to feel like it has range and lots of diversity. And so when I'm watching the film, I don't ever want the film to feel stuck, And it felt like the film was just kind of plodding along, and it was really heartfelt and personal, but it was so serious, and it needed to be lightened up a little. It needed some energy. There was no dancing. There was no. There's just a lot of things that were missing that, to me, I think I noticed a lot, and luckily it was shot really well, and so they're gonna love it. It's not a big issue, but I would just say I think it would feel if there was things that you just left on the cutting room floor because this doesn't feel like the right. I think you should have put them in. I think there should be some dancing. I think there should be some lightness, and I think you should have used 2 songs.
I think there was 2 songs.
Yeah, but they were the same.
But they weren't very different. Yeah.
They're the same. There should have been 2 tones. I felt if you would have made a big, and they walk in, everyone's cheering, and it's bang. I always tell people, it's there's hype, and then there's classy hype, horns and R&B, Motown vibe, something that would fit their personality. And I felt it just never kind of picked up. And then there's one little thing I was going to point out. Well, they're both related. When you see the shot, a lot of these shots, when you're shooting really meh locations, what direction you shoot really makes a big difference, because you'll see when he had her composed right there, it was so distracting to me. That is not nice looking.
Yeah, this to me screams kind of a last minute thing that just happened.
And then right here, same room. Beautiful. This looks great. And so I think
might be a different room, but same place.
I think it's the same room. I think it's if you look at it, I think it's just that right there.
Could be.
So
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
So I think like that, and then the other thing I was going to point out, Grant, is when she's playing with her dress, it looks super fake, and I like that shot. But like, if some people can't really pull it off, like this looks good, but then when you see her hand, 3 shots of this, like that's not a good shot.
You might be right in that it's the amount of shots almost where it's like it comes off as posed or whatever.
Yeah. Like the more you show something posed like that, like less is more. Like one quick shot looks good when you keep, especially when you get closer and closer, and you can see that she's just crumpling it in her hand. It's like,
now crumple the dress a little.
Yeah. So that's my 2 cents. I don't know if you could have fixed those things. I don't know if he's in chat telling us there is no dancing or whatever, but
he did say there were 8 people dancing. But interesting comment from Grant saying he thinks, and I guess I'd love to hear your opinion, Jay. He thinks this would have been way better as a 3 to 4 minute film, and now he does a range with the film length, but wasn't the case whenever he booked this one, I assume.
I agree, and I still would have put dancing in. By the way, like if I was there and there was
some like very sparse dance floors that you can shoot intentionally and make it look fine.
Yeah. Now you don't want to go crazy hype if the people are like not those type of people, but I think it just would have felt like just even the different lighting condition would have made the film a little more dynamic. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Very good film,
very
though.
solid film still, and especially just knowing like there wasn't like it was just like a very like normal day in a good way.
Do you want to see my new NAS?
Sure. You gonna take us on tour?
No.
Oh, okay.
This is how deep it is.
Dang.
This is my
how
solution.
Much storage is gonna be in that?
480 terabytes. No, or something. 20 times 24.
You lost track.
20 times 24, 480. So, yeah.
Dang.
So that's the follow-up to my Google Drive video.
Yeah, new video. I don't care about
the
cloud storage because I don't need it.
Well,
that's hat, Jay.
I am never, ever... This is what I will tell all of you guys. Every one of us should figure out a way to not need that kind of thing because they've proven to you that they don't care about you.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, I don't... Jay, do you like the bridesmaid first look, whatever you call it,
I call it the woo shot.
Yeah, I don't really love it. I've had some where I like it. It can bring a nice little energy, some nice ambient sound, but it's very distinctively... It's very rare that I think it looks good.
It's distinctively kind of low end to me.
Yeah.
Like there are shots, and that's I don't want to say low end. It's not luxury as a wedding filmmaker. Yeah. Like I want to be perceived as a high end filmmaker, so I try to get rid of things that don't have an air of like otherness to it, like kind of that are like transcend normal life.
Yeah,
I think there are types of films and budgets where like it makes a lot of sense and couples that really want it. I mean, it's really complex when you really think about like wedding filmmaking. It's like there are plenty of times like there are couples where I'm like, Tim Halperin, use it. Great. Yeah. It's perfect for them. It's perfect for the brand. It's perfect for everything. Like
I think that's a good way to put it. Like it's so hard to have like these like black and white like hard and fast rules because it's so
for a Huxley film I would never put one in.
But it would probably never happen though either, right?
It kind of happens.
Well, kind of, yeah, I guess.
But I would say it happens less. The higher end an event, I was telling somebody. So we shoot a lot of weddings. Obviously, we did like 230 last year. We did less this year, probably like 185. Way
weak. That's embarrassing. That's not very many.
I mean, let's be honest. I literally had a 30 like a huge. That's pretty big shrinkage, dude. That's like 20%. So not psyched about that. But it is what it is. Smaller season.
I'm teasing because the majority of people in chat, myself included, are doing less than 30 probably.
But we did like, I would say like 30 10K weddings this year. Like high-end events. And lots of high-end events, even the ones that aren't 10K, mostly high-end events, really like $250,000 events minimum. And what I notice is the bigger the event, the less they do the wedding filmmaker stuff. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Like we just did this destination wedding, and you've done these too. Like weekends, we get there, they have this huge rehearsal dinner at this golf club with crazy stuff happening. And then they have a huge house party the next day. That's an 80s house party. And then later that night they go on a boat. And then later in that night they have a welcome party in this beautiful opulent mansion. And then the next day they have the wedding. And it's like, I don't have time in the film for that kind of stuff.
Who needs dress reveals?
You don't have time for it because you have all this crap you got to put in there that's way cooler. And also the days are really scheduled, so the couples like a lot of times don't want to do that stuff because there's so much going on. They're like go, and like you're just shooting. And so I find like as your career grows, you're not going to go like I'm not including this. It just will naturally start working its way out of your films.
For real.
You're not going to see that in an Alex Douglas film. Like a dress reveal.
Yeah, look at any of them.
Like, but it's not to say you shouldn't do it. That's the problem here is like, if you're trying to emulate these high-end filmmakers, understand that like at these events, we're not having these things happen that you are having to shoot. And we have way more to work with in the edit. Like, that's why I can't be too critical of what Grant just gave us, because it's like, he doesn't have like a bunch of the things that I think would be cool to make the film cooler. But so I think what he did with it was great.
Well, I think it's about being true to the day and the couple, and you're making the video. I mean, we've talked about this. You're making the video for them.
Yep.
It's not for me, and it's not for anybody watching the stream, and it's not for your peers and whatever.
You make the best film you can with the day that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think
that
he was successful at that.
Example of that.
Yes.
Cool. Well, let's do another film and then dive into our bad weather.
Just a quick topic. But while we're doing that, I'd love to know if you have any tips in the chat about what you like to do when the weather's bad. Get those ready.
That's what we're going to be talking about after this next film, because I have had a lot of bad weather films this year. Bad weather weddings.
So many for me.
Like almost all of them, and it's very annoying. And guess what? I have a wedding tomorrow, and guess what? It's going to rain again.
Yep. That was me last week, dude.
This is my life.
I got to try to find a clip, actually, while we're watching this film of the wind in the tent I was in. Well, this is cool looking.
Wait, which film is this? Is this True Summit? James?
Didn't we already review this one, James? I think we already reviewed this one. Yeah, we already did this one. Sorry, dude. We reviewed it. Go back in the past.
James, no.
Submit. It's all good. Who's next?
Up next we have Bryce. From C. Bryce Media.
Castilla. Whoa, yeah, this one's interesting. Tell everybody this what's special about this one.
Okay, so shot in the North Georgia mountains, small wedding, really sweet family, but shot on the FX3 and the Ronin 4D, which, if this is labeled correctly, my knowledge of the Ronin 4D is that it is that all-in-one like camera stabilizer, almost like if you took the what's the big drone from DJI or whatever. Am I thinking of the right thing?
Yeah, I mean, this is it. Yeah,
I'm looking it up right now too. Yeah, it's like an all-in-one.
It has like the LiDAR and like.
Yeah, and we played around with one at WPPI.
It's pretty cool.
I've never seen a film made on. I mean, not that to my knowledge, at least. So that's an interesting little tidbit.
Yes. So yeah, that's cool. So let's watch it.
Let's do it. So this is from C. Bryce Media.
What is this music? Where is it playing? Somewhere I have a video playing. And oh, there it is. I had a video of the Ronin 4D.
Of the Ronin 4D. I was like, this is some wow. Okay, this is some interesting. Well, here you go, guys. This is
what it looks like.
4D.
You can put it on all different housings. I think it actually comes standard like this, and then it's like, whoa, look, you can deliver exciting new possibilities with this.
You can do anything.
Have you ever wanted a camera that records? Now it exists. Oh, look, this one from last week.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Got so many videos open.
Yeah, dude, I don't do a great job with that. I'm not gonna lie. Now I've just lost the video that I was supposed to be playing. This is this one. Sorry. I'll just open
promise.
it. I'll open it again. Wah, wah, wah. All the big YouTubers, they never have all these issues, or they edit them out.
Brad, my weather app says rain tomorrow. Prove me wrong.
All right, here we go. Is he a member, by the way?
Who?
Not a
Bryce?
member. Not a member.
member.
So we'll do a couple minutes of this one. We might skip around, Bryce. So.
Oh, now my thing says no. Oh my god! It says no rain tomorrow, but it does say snow on Saturday.
Well, I'll probably watch a little more of this one to see if he really leveraged the power of the 4D.
Of the raw Ronin cinema. I don't know.
That looks great if that's the 4D. The color's so nice.
Yeah, I know you're in chat. Could you let us know, like, what are you shooting?
It's hard to begin to explain the love
You know what I
have
mean?
for you and the
With
life
the
we are building together.
FX3 or 30 or whatever versus
My life has been far from perfect, but from the
4D.
moment you walked into it, you've shown me what true happiness and unconditional love is.
like, is any moving shot is the 4D and anything stationary is the FX3 or 30?
Future Miss Catherine Peoples. I want to start
Okay.
this by saying
It says
that I thank
90%
Brian
is
for
the
you
4D.
and for always sticking
I freaking love the color on that.
for making
It looks great.
for me. When I first met you, I didn't know what love
Look at that. That's sexy looking.
is, but I most certainly do now.
While we're watching this, I'd love to know your experience of color matching. That's what I'm keeping my eye for, but I'd love to know your experience with the files.
I love you.
Brad is not shooting with me tomorrow, but he can if he wants to. I don't have anybody lined up as an assistant.
Do it.
Do you want to, Grant? But I'm only looking for an assistant. That's the problem. And my normal ones are
cheap.
Busy.
I've had some good.
It'll be a fun day. It's downtown.
And I've had some
Free pizza.
worse.
Maybe. No promises on free pizza.
Days that I've had with you.
All right, I'm gonna skip forward a little bit.
I've had some
That's cool doing the painting, the live painting or whatever.
I hate the live painting. Like, I don't
I
know
haven't
why.
had one at a wedding, so that's why I think it's cool.
I always have it, and I'm always like, why do they want a picture of this ballroom, like in their house? They'll always be camped up in the ballroom, and like they'll paint the ballroom and then paint them having their first dance, and I'm like,
yeah,
that's the thing. Like, paint like I don't know, a field or something cool that looks good on a wall, not this brown ballroom.
Cursed, but none compared to the times that
Why did you shoot this with that 4D though? Like, I'm trying to understand the purpose of it.
To join this man and this
like
woman in
this,
holy matrimony.
like the entire, like, why did he choose to use it for this wedding?
And why would anyone choose to use that?
That's kind of its own conversation. Yeah, I am curious actually.
I
you know what? We want to know. We demand answers.
Well, no, because like I could afford it. I could just buy them, and I'm always like, why though? Why would I buy this? Like, what?
Yeah,
would...
I am curious. Like, what made you choose that over? Like, yeah,
Just
why
a
are you
normal
drawn to
gimbal.
that? And there's not a wrong answer, but yeah, like why that as opposed to, yeah, I don't know, running some other camera on a gimbal.
Let's see. The DJI 4D is $7,000.
So, what does it offer that isn't?
So it's got a bunch of cool. One for certain types of documentary work and certain types of action work and the modular system, certain types of filmmaking, it does make sense. The LiDAR is really special on it.
That's true.
There's a bunch of things that I think make sense in certain applications, but I've never been able to go like, really, like, how is it really going to add benefit to my weddings? And like, I'm a business person, so the first thing I think is that's three Lumix S5 2Xs.
Yeah.
That's left cam, right cam, back cam, or like 2 lenses and 2 great camera bodies. And I think like I can make a lot more money having more camera bodies than one camera. That's just my opinion. But maybe there's a reason.
In chat, see, Bryce is saying he was using it for real estate work and then he got into weddings. So
okay, same question.
Part of that.
Same question. Like, why not a normal gimbal? Like, what is this giving you? What's been your experience? Like, do you just hate balancing gimbals?
Like the LiDAR. Also, Chris saying that the Z-axis is stabilized, which is a little bit different.
Yeah, fine. I mean,
which is true. But we'll get into this when we.
It better be perfect then, and like not something I could do.
LiDAR has been a game changer. See, Bryce is saying.
That's just like saying though, like people who don't have it aren't shooting in focus gimbal stuff, but they are. So it's like, anyway.
Being the first institution that was created by God, and the Lord God said, "It's not good."
I like the color though.
Should be alone.
Yeah.
No.
Do we want to skip to the end? This is a non-member.
Yeah, we'll skip to the end. I want to see this shot on the.
Grant, my experience with real estate video is that I hated it.
Real estate video is death to my soul.
Underpaid. It's like, make a 2-minute film of this tiny house that has terrible lighting.
I used to have a real estate photo and video company. We did a fair amount every year, and I was like, screw this. I sold it. It sucked. I hated it so much. I couldn't get people to give you more than like $500.
Oh, I don't even think you're getting close to that in this, at least in where I am.
No, the clients were so annoying. I mean, if you did it, if you're in New York City or Miami, by the way, those people make big bucks. LA, like if you can find a way to do it, I think great. That's amazing. I tried, so I'm not, but I just couldn't. I couldn't deal with it. So, okay.
Heavenly Father, but aside from salvation,
weird.
His greatest gift is putting that person.
Okay, that's fun. Not the right song.
The one your soul loves.
Yeah.
Very fun. These people are
the
fun.
person that fills a gap in your heart that you never knew.
Am I just like a weird person that I always want good energy in a film? Like, is that just unique to me, or like?
I don't think so. I think that there are films that can live without it, but I think that it helps a lot of films, and I also think that it's not so much that you need that energy. I think it's that I think you and a lot of people, myself included, are really thrown off when visually it's not met. Like visually there is energy.
I am bored easily by wedding films. That's what I'll say. I watch so many of them, and like when I watch a film and I start like drifting off, like there's just the music is putting me to sleep. It's like I'm not engaged. So let's watch this last little section and then we'll talk about it.
Run back the time in slow motion. I'll sell my guitars. I'll spend life behind bars to take one more trip through the story.
Hate that. Hate when they make them kiss. How much cooler would that be?
Kissing.
I like this kiss. This is great. This is a real kiss. How much cooler would that shot have been if he would have gotten more than 2 steps in? Not enough motion. Not enough motion. Like getting like it's probably not his fault. It's probably the photographer's like, now kiss. I'm like, shut up.
I'll stop right there.
Take 2 steps and then kiss. It's like walk the whole walkway. I tell photographers now when we're doing stuff like that, don't stop them to kiss. If you want them to kiss at the end or want them to kiss, it's posed anyway. Just make them walk back. But like, can I just get one good sequence of the people walking? Stand up for yourself, people, in a nice way. But yeah. Anyway, Chris, that's cute. I love that. I mean, there's so many nice little moments in this film.
Yeah.
Thanks for the.
All right, so let's talk about it. Okay, I'm just gonna say off the bat, don't see the point of the 4D in this at all. I don't think there was anything about it that couldn't have been done. I do like the way the camera looks. That's nice. I don't think you did anything with it that could have not been done with a gimbal. And I think honestly, like, some of the emotion was kind of like this right here. It's shaky. Like it could have been. So that's just my review on the 4D. Don't see it really adding any benefit.
Separate critique. But things that you liked about this.
But the things I liked, like I said, I love a lot of the color. Like, just good instincts capturing these moments. Like, there's a lot of cute moments between this couple.
Yeah.
And they just seem so sweet. Like, this right here looks freaking great. Like, lots of really, like, put them in good lighting environments, you know, nice stuff like that. I think you can work on your posing a little. I think some of it looks kind of fake, but I think overall it looks really great. I mean, I've seen stuff from this camera and I'm always like, wow, this camera looks nice. Like,
yeah,
and it looks really nice. And there's a lot of good stuff. And this couple seems sweet, and I think the film is sweet. And you're a good wedding filmmaker. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would agree on a lot of what you said. I think there's a lot of like just really good moments caught and just really good like coverage overall. I also think I did like the lighting on the groom prep. Some of the other, like some of this detail stuff, I like the lighting on that too. And also, yeah, so I haven't really looked at much from the 4D. It's not of interest to me, to be brutally honest.
Yeah, but like, look at that.
It's not even brutal.
The shot is
like,
not
nice...
stable, and it's not in focus.
Yeah.
It's
so,
like right there.
I think that there is
that's not a
nice
shot.
Color and stuff like that. But I'm going to go a step further than Jay. Jay saying, I don't think the 4D is, blowing me away, whatever. I would go a step further. I think the 4D is hurting you as a filmmaker.
I think so. The technique is the technique you're using is not right. Like you're thinking it's solving problems for you that you're not getting solved. You're so steppy.
I think it's creating more problems. So I think the issue is, I think there's this inherent thought that like, oh, look at all the axes that stabilizes. Everything's super smooth. This is like, I think your walking or your movement or whatever needs some work, because I think a lot of the gimbal stuff isn't that smooth. And even further, I think because you're using it as a main camera and you're always mobile, you're always moving. And a lot of these shots would be a lot better stationary or with intentional movement, and there's a lot of just like
look at this shot right here.
I'm moving so I'm moving fast. Oh no, I'm going the other direction. Oh, I'm gonna push in. And there's a lot of like, I think it's giving you too much freedom, and you're not being decisive with your movements and your shots.
Especially with gimbal. Like with handheld, you can be more indecisive because it's supposed to.
You can't move that much either.
You could do crazy handheld, like I've seen people like running 24 millimeter with a couple, and it has that look. Like, look at the bottom of the frame here. This is what I look for in a gimbal. I always like to look at something that I know is stable, and then something in the bottom of the frame, and how much distance is coming from the bottom of their feet to the bottom of the frame. Like, look how much it's just floating in a weird down all the way, back up. It's just like, I think you're like, this is solving all my problems, and it's really just not. It's creating problems.
Which isn't to say, like, there are some good shots and you have a good eye, and I think like I think it comes off as like we're ripping that apart, and I don't even think that's it. I think it's us saying like, we can tell that you know what you're doing, and that you can frame some and compose some good shots, and I think if you force yourself into a box a little bit of like, how do I like taking away, like, say, okay, I only get to use my gimbal or my 4D, whatever, for 15 shots.
Imagine if it was only for the portraits and maybe the establishing shots.
Yeah.
It would make them...
Like, that's really all I use my gimbal for.
Me too,
establishing venue stuff, establishing room shots.
Portraits.
And then I'll get a couple portraits on
I might do like one shot of them getting ready. I'll typically do one gimbal shot.
That's true, yeah.
One
I'll
gimbal
do like
shot while they're doing a toast.
Getting on.
Like I like to get the gimbal shot of everyone going, raising their glasses, you know, just like a couple moments that feel special. That's when I break out the gimbal. And I think if you use this 5D, 4D, which I'm not saying get rid of it. It seems great. It looks beautiful. Why not use it? You have it. But use it, make it special with your film. Make it more special. And I think it'll be better. And I also think just in general, you're a little too tight with the gimbal. Like I feel like you never shot wide enough with the gimbal.
It might not be a variable.
Back up.
It might not be a zoom lens. I don't know. Yeah.
Back up.
True. Cool. All right. Thank you for submitting.
Good film.
We're gonna get the next one set up, which is from. I have to check my document.
While we're doing that, bad weather is a part of wedding filmmaking, and we've had a lot of bad weather in the 2023 season. I was talking to a photographer recently, Bobby, and they told me 18 of 22 of their dates had rain.
I'll bet I'm at the same percentage.
Yeah, that's nuts, right?
Like, I don't know what I've done, like 15 or something like that. And I'll bet like I can think of like 2, maybe 3 that didn't have rain. Ouch.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Don't like that.
Nope, don't like it at all. But has taught me some skills, Bobby, and it has definitely made me think creatively. So I think it was interesting to talk about, like, what do you do when the weather stinks? And I think there's 2 ways to look at it, at least in our area. I don't know how you in your area, but in our area, there's like weddings like that are inner city weddings, Boston weddings or whatever. And then there's just all the other locations, like especially a place that's very outdoor centric, right? Like Cape Cod. Like we do a lot in Cape Cod, up in the mountains, and like, so I think there's some big differences. So what about you, Bobby? Like what have you been doing this year to get good content when you can't basically do what you would normally do, which is take people out into beautiful light, into beautiful atmospheres, and shoot something that actually gives that diversity to the day? And what are some of the biggest problems you see when the weather's bad?
Yeah, so I will say this. I have been annoyed with the weather, but all the days have had pockets that we've been able to utilize. Yeah, little breaks, exactly. And so I think the biggest thing is like on a I guess I'm saying a rainy day, right? Yeah. I think being flexible is super important, and knowing like there are certain parts of the day where you're not going to go outside anyway, right? The bride's getting dressed or something. It's going to be inside. It's going to be in the hotel room or whatever. But like being able to work with the photographer and the couple and the coordinator and whatever, if possible, and just kind of be on alert that like, hey, if we get a break in rain, like we're going to go out for 10 minutes.
That's a great
Even
point.
If we're doing wedding family photos right now at the altar or something, and it's like, hey, rain just stopped, the sun's peaking a little bit, we're going to pause this, bride and groom, we're going to take you outside, just get some nice stuff. I think that's been really helpful, but again, that assumes there is a break. I also have been asking couples in advance. It more has to do with schedule, and then with a tight schedule and then adding rain, it just makes it worse, where I'm saying like, hey, if during the first look or sunset photo time or whatever, like if we don't really get everything that we want, are you guys down, during open dancing to come somewhere with me for 10 minutes? Maybe I'll set up a light, or basically just like, do I have the freedom and do I have your permission to find a 10-minute, 15-minute window in the day and just pull you?
Yeah, I would say, like, just to echo that, like, that actually, like, realizing that, like, you're going to need to be flexible.
Yeah.
Is partially for you, but also you need to explain. It's much more important that you explain what you need to the rest of the team. Like I've had to say to a couple of people, like, I do not have enough stuff.
Yep.
Like,
I've had that exact conversation.
Like I need to,
with
like,
a photographer, maybe a coordinator.
I'm going to bring a light up to this beautiful room in the hotel. We're going to light it or something, but I need one more session. I need 5 minutes with the couple. And like saying that to the couple early in the day, like, oh, I'm so disappointed we can't outside. And like, that's right when I grab that moment and say to them, like, oh, you know what? It's going to be great. What if we did this great? I saw this great spot. would you be open to doing that if the planner says it's cool and like having that conversation with them
Yep.
and just preparing people? But here's what I'll say. The other thing is don't talk about rain too much with couples. Like,
No, yeah, I don't really like.
but yeah, having that
You don't wanna
conversation.
stress them out.
Yeah, they're already bummed about it. They're sad about it. So I try to. But anyway, yeah, that's a great point, Bobby. Is like that communication is so much more important.
Yeah. Anything I see people saying umbrellas, which I agree. Like it's always nice. That's like the days where it's just like rain nonstop. I have gone outside with umbrellas still, and it's annoying, and it's certainly more
Hate umbrellas.
difficult and stressful. But like,
But it is what it is. Sometimes you
it
need
is
an
what it is.
umbrella.
I will also say like certain venues. I think if I were forced to shoot inside only, I think I could if I had complete control. Like I could find rooms and big windows, and I could get something, you know.
So I feel like the biggest thing for me, Bobby, this year has been I need to shoot more on these days. I need to work.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
I need to work
that's
way
important.
harder at creating diversity. Daytime, nighttime is the only dynamics I have. So daytime, nighttime. I have done some direct lit editorial kind of look with couples. Like if they're a fun, energetic couple, I'm like, let's go outside and run around. Maybe like they want to go out in the rain, you know, like just, I think creating, like forcing yourself to have a little bit of diversity in how you shoot is also something I've needed to do. Like I'll do a lot more like really, really tight close-ups on details, but also wide, like just giving myself, normally I'd be like inside, outside, or like having that diversity. I no longer have it. Like this one right here, Bobby, I shot last week, and this was a terrible weather day, and like you might be able to see it. I posted this, or like the I got the drone up for like 20 minutes. I found a drone spot. Like I have to work so hard to find these moments. And like that right there, it was raining when we took that shot of them. But I'm like, can we just take the umbrella down for like 1 minute? She's like, 1 minute, right? Like
you get 1 minute.
Yeah. Like just showing, that's inside. That right there, we're showing the rain. Like just having all that diversity in the film. I think that's just a little teaser too. So that's like not a full film or whatever. But I think like just you need more. That's the biggest thing I'll tell you with a rainy day. Like you need to shoot more than you normally would. You need to maybe change your focal length more than you would. Like you have to force the film to feel like it's doing something and being interesting. And you have to be more creative.
That actually, so I ended up doing that the last wedding that I filmed 2 weeks ago, raining most of the day. The sun broke out for 5 minutes, rain stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go handheld with my 70-200, which I never really do. And I just know I need a completely, like, I just need to visually completely 180 on this little 5 minute session.
Yes. That's so smart.
And it worked out really, really well. I'm like so glad.
Do you want to see how bouncy, how windy it was? It was like 40-mile-an-hour winds on the Cape. Look at this, guys. This is freaking intense.
Was that? I think I saw the chandeliers like swinging around.
Oh, they were swinging, but this is how much they were actually swinging. Like, hold on, let's see.
Dang, they're bouncing.
I was like, oh my. It's scary, dude.
Yeah, glad everybody survived.
Yeah, people. We were like shooting. Like they're like, "Oh, are you nervous? You're shooting in here." I'm like, "I'm not in the kill zone, so I'm good."
Yeah, I'm in the corner. I'm fine.
We're out of there.
Yeah. If you have any more tips, guys, for how you are handling bad weather, drop it in chat. But we're gonna go on to our next film, which is coming from Ethan Calvin, Visionary Weddings, also a member. Excuse me. So many thanks for being a member. We appreciate that, guys. Of course, we hope that you are subscribed here if you're watching this or if you're submitting your films. I think that one's a no-brainer. But if you do want to go further and help support this channel, consider becoming a member. Gets you some cool things, gets you priority in getting your films reviewed. It gets you more of your film reviewed, gets you into a private Facebook group and some other stuff. You can hit the join button down here, down below, right next to subscribe and check out the different tiers for that. But otherwise, even if you're not, we're still happy to review your films and happy that you are here. But with that said, let's hop off to another member film from Visionary Weddings. And Ethan saying it was a surprisingly chill day, all filmed on Canon. And then the Zoom F3, the F2 Lav backups, and the Aperture 60X.
Here we go. Oh, I gotta show more than that, dude. Did I miss something? Let me play that one more time.
I'm gonna try not to cry.
I like the idea. Don't. That's too short. But anyway, keep going.
I'm gonna try not to cry. Nadia.
All right, Ethan, tell us in chat, black and white, was it a story
Baby,
decision
you're my
or a bad lighting decision?
It's always been my
Be
favorite
honest,
phrase to
safe
tell
space.
you. But today I thought I would tell you all the things that I'm really saying when I say that.
Let's
Yes.
highlight.
That shot is so high end looking.
This is just a really cool place.
That is a great shot.
Yeah.
Let's highlight Nadia and Sean's own personal love story. They met through the wonders of online dating during COVID pandemic. Their first date began with Sean saying, "Just come through the back alley." Yeah, that was the best way to get into his apartment. Then he
Like
followed
that.
up with chocolate chip pancakes for dinner. And they described the pancakes as horrible. But that being said, it didn't deter them from getting to know each other.
My mom always said that when I found someone, I would fall head over heels very quickly. I never believed her, but damn, she was right. From our first date making pancakes, God, they were so bad, to those lazy evenings watching overly scripted reality TV shows. I am so incredibly thankful that you are mine. You are my missing piece of the puzzle, the one I can be 100% authentic with, the one who laughs with me and understands my roller coaster of emotions, the calming force behind the continuous waves of life.
Wow. Wow, my princess.
Yeah, that's the reaction you want. Have you ever had a dad who's just like super lame about it? I had this.
I've had a lot where they don't really. You could tell they're not like they're like they don't show emotion. You know what I mean? And
I
they're
had a
like,
dad walk, like the bride's like, "Look, we're gonna do this, but my dad's not gonna like. This isn't gonna go well." And the guy walks in, he goes like this. He's like, "Is that it?" I was like,
we done?
Yeah, he's like, "Are we done?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're done." He's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And the bride's like, "I told you." But so it was funny. Obviously, didn't really make the film, but
Didn't make the cut. You didn't start with that.
that's a good reaction by that dad, though. Oh. Oh, that's kind of weird. Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
I remember sitting at Heisem and Fatina's backyard with a few of the other girls as you showed us some options. As Sean's profile showed up, we all encouraged you to swipe right. Little did we know he would be the one standing by your side today. Sean, you're welcome.
I'm so happy. Okay. I am so happy you found someone who loves you unconditionally, who shows up at your bachelorette party to help you win at bingo, indulges in your dream for a beautiful
Love
neon
that.
sign. And most importantly, that you found.
Super good portrait work.
Yeah.
Sean, you may now kiss your bride.
That's kind of tough.
Seeing your eyes light up when you're happy, and waking up to my best friend, loving you more than I thought possible with every day. And it's the future, knowing that I'll be a loving husband to you, knowing that you all will always know how much you mean to me, and one day, knowing that I'll be able to get you through anything, even if you're hangry. And one day knowing that I'll be a good father to our children and raise them right, as Oilers fans.
I'll allow it.
I vow to ensure that you always know that, baby, you're my world. Every day for the rest of our lives.
This hotel has so many exit signs. My gosh. Like, sucks.
Here's to Nadia and Sean. Many happy years ahead. We love you both.
What's going on with the lens there? Did you have dirty lens, or is that like a...
On the backlit stuff?
Yeah, like, is there a...
Yeah, it might be a filter.
A filter? That's why I don't like those things.
Yeah, I would be curious to know, Ethan. There was a lot of backlit, and some of it's just a tough situation. But yeah, I'm curious.
What's the blooming that was sticking out to me?
Yeah. But with that said, awesome film. Jay, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I think first of all the intro was weird, but once you got to the real intro of the film, to me that like I like the way you started the film with that guy like. Oh, let me just say, like, nice stillness, nice little break, good little. I always like the biggest thing for me with films is always like it needs to have dynamics. It has to feel like it's moving. And it was cool to start it like that. I think there's a lot of really, really beautiful looking portrait work, really creative portrait work. I mean, you know, creative is like a kind of a bastardized word too. It's like, I don't know what you mean. It's just well executed is the way I would
well
say.
done. Yeah.
Well executed. And good use of light throughout basically the whole film, with the exception of that debatable part. And this right here is lit, right? This cake, I promise you lit this, right? Freaking sick looking. I love it when people like isolate subjects in the details. If you have time to break a light out and do table details and all that stuff. It's freaking awesome. And this looks great. The inclusion of the location this is my favorite way to show locations is if we can put the couple in the location. Yeah. That's the money. Looks good. Yeah, it's just a really, I mean, beautifully shot film. I mean, that's what I'll say. Beautifully shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I would echo a lot of that. I really love the venue plays a very big role in this film, and I love that. I love how you showcased it and your establishing shots. I really like your use of light in a lot of different shots. I think the portraiture is very, very good.
And it was like kind of diverse use of light too. That's what I thought was cool.
Yeah, there's some like harsh shadow
hard
stuff.
Light, and it was good.
So Ethan was using a mist filter. And so generally backlit, or not backlit, but like, that like blown out window, whatever, really, it generally bugs me. But before the ceremony, like there is some very backlit prep stuff. Like this? Like that, yeah, the shot of the groom, it's not that shot that we saw, but like, even this, yeah. But like, there's the bride sitting on that couch in front of that window. There's the groom. Maybe it's this, but it's the wider shot. The groom getting ready is in front of a window, which I generally would avoid. And I think it looks really, really
The mist looks good here.
I like it. Yeah, and then I would have taken off for the ceremony. I think it hurt you in the ceremony is the only time that I didn't love it.
I didn't like it that much here. It's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't affect me that much on this shot, in my opinion. But
I have my qualms with this shot, but yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm trying to think what else I really loved. I don't remember. I feel like I said a lot of things and I don't remember what I said anymore.
Very good.
Anything you do different, Jay?
A lot of things I would do different.
The filter a little, but
Maybe not too
yeah, what
different.
else?
So too much exit signs. I would have found a way to get rid of some of those exit signs.
Man, that's tough. They're everywhere. Although, you know what I will say? One of the last films I did had a big handicap sign. I went frame by frame and I took that thing out, and it was annoying, but it was very worth it.
I just
in
direction
a lot
like
of shots.
when you're considering what you're doing, I think like right here, there's no exit signs. So there's a shot to be had in the room with the exit signs. That's what I'm saying.
It's also like the most boring
no exit signs.
Angle. Yeah, that's a good angle. I like that.
That's the best angle. No exit signs.
Because I think the exit sign is just to the right of this frame, isn't it?
Yes.
It's on the pillar to the right of that lamp or that sconce.
I would have just literally not shot in that direction one time all night. I would have based my shot around the exit signs. So the one thing I would say that bothered me, and then
Ethan's saying he's given up with the exit signs at this place.
No way, dude. It's like it's so immersion killing. Like, you don't want to imagine that there could be a fire in any building anyone could ever get married in. So I look at this and I go, I think he could have done a lot better with the room detail shots. They're just
I'm trying to think. We saw a couple
they're so
wide.
rushed.
We saw the cake, and I don't remember seeing much else.
Tablescapes were weak. The wide shots, like I think one of the things I always want to tell people, if you're moving into high-end ballroom weddings, you must bring a super wide lens. Like I bring an 18 millimeter to shoot these rooms.
I have my 16-35. I love that lens.
Especially for these types of rooms because
it's that epic shot that you need.
You need the ceiling is a part of the room. And so I always tell people, it's like, I tell my guys, I'm like, get table level. You don't need to see anything below the tables with the chairs.
Yeah.
Get that gimbal up a little bit and let me see those chandeliers moving with that push.
Yeah.
Let me see that ceiling moving. Let me see all that stuff. And like, I felt like this shot right here was the one shot and it's cool, but like, I don't need to see the bottom of those tables or the
I would
rug.
go even, you know what I would do? I would do what you're saying too, but I think that's a different shot. I would take this. I would go even wider on this.
That's what I'm saying. Shoot 16 mil. Shoot super wide and get low. And also like do that push in of the head table. Like there's a lot of details that I think were left on the table. And like maybe this is just me. Maybe this is why I'm successful though.
You also don't know. Like this was solo shot. Maybe things got behind. Maybe he had 30 seconds. It's tough. But
if I'm shooting Fairmont in Boston, I'm gonna tell the planner or anyone involved, I need X amount of time to shoot this ballroom.
Yeah.
Because it's such a big part of the story. And like I'm gonna fight to get that time.
And I want to showcase your work.
Yes.
The planner, right?
Oh, no, planners, there's never once been a planner who, when you tell them, can I get a room clear to shoot your stuff, has said no. They all say,
no, I don't want that.
Yes. So that's my one thing is like next time you're shooting these big, feels like a very high end event, right? And by the way you edit it is great, but I think like 5% more focus in the film on the planner's work and on the epicness, and I think it would feel even better.
I could see that. You know what I will say though is, man, I don't know a whole lot that I would take out. Like I really
we don't need as many shots of the couple. We don't.
True.
We don't need like some of the dancing. We don't need like there's like shots like this. Like I don't need that shot.
Yeah, I guess that's. But another
good film though. Really.
Oh yeah.
Really
very good film. The only thing that I would also add, I did not like the lighting on the speeches. I think you needed a little bit of fill. I think you lost their eyes. It could be a YouTube thing or a Zoom thing or whatever.
You know what? I'm looking at this room.
That.
Yeah, but you see it in the dancing too.
The dancing, I think the dancing is fine for me. I can live with the like kind of.
It's underexposed.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
under
the
toast, but
flash
this is the
are kinda
biggest thing
crushed.
I'll say is, in a candlelit room, I'm gonna warm this light up a little bit. Not totally, but it's a little too blue for me.
All right. Can you find? Yeah. Click right there. Yeah. So and that might be they weren't turned the way you thought they were.
But look how blue it is. Like it's hitting
the
that
blue
Fairmont.
Is kind of the Fairmont and the blue, the window. I think it's a white window.
I would try to like.
I would turn my camera so I'm not seeing that window, and then I would warm my light up too.
The tip I always give people when white balancing their lights in rooms like this is I say like, the orange should look orange, but make it look white at least. It because it's good to have a little pop on your subject. So that
I'm like totally fine. I'm looking at I'm totally fine with with the light here in the background being like more
super orange. Heck yeah.
I have no issues with
Nobody's
that.
ever been like, this candlelight is too orange.
Yeah.
Like, people love orange candlelight. That's the vibe. But I just think you don't want blue. You want white plus orange, not blue plus orange.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, super good film. And
great film.
Again, there's some really good
actually,
stuff in
this is it. Okay. Sorry to keep talking about this because I'm looking at techniques right. I'm like trying to imagine how I would. Here's the problem here. That light is lighting up that entire back wall.
Oh.
And if the light was coming from the other side, Bobby, that wall would be black.
Yeah, which would be cool.
And it would hide the exit signs a lot more. And it would also punctuate the orange.
It'd be like two little red eyes in the night.
Yeah. So I think just positioning. I mean, sometimes these things are all hindsight's 2020. So
also shooting solo can be tough. Like
wicked tough.
I mean, it can be tough anyway, but like lighting especially, it's really hard if you don't when I have an assistant or a second shooter, I'm always sending them like on the dance floor or whatever to really see what my lighting looks like in camera. Because sometimes I'll throw up, something similar and it just doesn't kind of like this, where you're like, oh shoot, my normal setup is going to really light up that back wall and I don't want that. And you might not realize that right away. So, cool.
But great film, good shooting.
Yeah, very good film. All right, we got time for one more, and we actually ended up with a lot of submissions, so thanks to everybody. So unfortunately, we can't get to everybody. So our last one is going to be from.
Do you want to do somebody who submitted? Let's do somebody who submitted today.
Yeah, I think is. Wait, are you in the doc?
Yeah, I'm gonna do someone else. I'm gonna do someone who submitted today. So, Bobby, Stahl, tell people about liking our videos and stuff.
We would appreciate it if you like our video. You can hit the little thumbs up down below. I don't even think you can dislike the video anymore, right? Didn't they take that away or something? All right, we're safe. But yeah, go ahead and hit the like button. We would appreciate that. That lets YouTube know that you like what we're doing. But beyond that, the best thing that you can do for this channel is show up in the films that we post, comment on them, things like that. Share them if you want to go crazy far. But yeah, we have some recent videos you should check out. Not only just our weekly live stream here, the Wedding Film School live show on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, but also our sporadically uploaded educational videos on topics that we think are interesting to this community, much shorter form stuff, but also our podcast, which lives on our sister channel called the Wedding Film School Show. Go check that out. That's our podcast and shorts. That seems to be what that channel is. And also available on audio platforms, so the podcast app, Spotify, things like that. Tons of awesome guests. Jared is there. I am not usually
I'm
there.
ready to go whenever you are, brother.
And I'm done stalling. All right, so tell us about this film, because I don't know who we are.
We'll do Chris Truitt.
Chris Truitt, and I don't have any of the details, so that is who we're doing. Yes, I love having that for assistants too. And tomorrow is one of my first weddings without an assistant, and I'm dreading that. I don't want that.
It's the worst. Okay, stop calling me. No one is. Oh, this person's calling me. It's a planner calling me to say, "Shut up, Jason." So good. Here, I'm gonna put her on the live stream.
Don't tell my secrets.
Hey, Kristen. I'm crying. Yeah, pretty good, right? Oh, thank you.
That's so good, Jason. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
Oh my God, I love it. It's so good.
Are you gonna post it?
Yeah, well, yes, I am. Well, I was going to. Can you just give me a couple days? I don't want you to post it right yet. Just give me.
No rush. Let me give you a call back though. I'm about to run into something. Oh, of course. Well, they're getting the normal 6-minute highlight film. This is just a teaser. So
Welcome to our live stream.
Bye. That's how you make the money.
Well, that's the proof right there. We're clipping that out as a short.
So, yeah, she wouldn't care if I did that. She was on the podcast episode. Go listen to her episode. She's great. But anyway, I just sent the details, Bobby, of our film.
Oh, perfect. What, in Slack or something?
In Slack.
Okay. All right, let's see here.
So, tell us about the film. This was a friend of mine. We did the wedding very DIY. We built the cameras ourselves and lenses ourselves. No, I just don't know
Took an opportunity to get back to the basics. Audio was a struggle on the day with the lack of a DJ running professional sound. Adobe AI enhanced speech was used, so that would be interesting.
Adobe AI.
Yeah, 45-minute film. Yeah, that's about all we
We
have,
should put
so.
Hey, can you? I'm gonna play this thing, but put a poll up really quick in there, and the question should be, Bobby, is if AI could edit better than you, would you let it?
I would.
Oh man, it scares me a little. I think
Man.
I think I wouldn't. I think I would leverage it. I would utilize it, but I would make sure I always touched it just so I could say that it's good because of me. So, okay, here we go. Here's our film. Oh, I'm not showing the film. There it is. The first shot was a bank.
I can see it.
So, or something outside of a building. I don't know.
When I think of Hannah, I get the most excited piece I think I've ever gotten.
It's very Christian.
She's not here. I'm excited to see her next. When she is here, I'm jumping up and down, full of nervous energy.
Prove it. Oh yeah, she's nervous.
Balances me out a lot, and so when I think of her, it's just like that's my safe place. I'm safe with her.
I think the first thing I noticed when I met him was just how real he was. He's just so easy to talk to. We had the best conversations that day we first met. We talked for like 8 hours.
Wow.
I had no idea what that guy was gonna say. Like based on
Could have been anything.
Could have been anything.
Daddy's angel. Oh my goodness. You are amazing. Wow.
That dude makes me happy when I look at him though, that groom. Like, what a good smile.
Yeah.
You ready for this? Rest of your life.
Here we go, gazebo.
You were the man I've dreamed of and prayed for since I was a little girl. The man I longed to build a family and grow old with. You were a treasure. It was perfect gift.
I fell in love with you because of who you are. And I am so thankful that Jesus rescued me from myself so that I could get to know you. I'm so thankful that I met you. There is no one who lights up my life the way you do. I love you. And I always will.
That's some pretty good
By
vows.
virtue of the authority entrusted to me as a minister of Christ Church, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss your bride, Garrett.
Go in the distance, don't need a reason. A couple of people with mutual feelings. I could be something that you could believe in. Cause I'm never down when I'm down with you. Cause you're giving me life, baby. It's alright. What if you gotta lose? And you're giving me life, baby. It's alright. It's all in the way you move. It's not complicated, it's not complicated. This feeling is hopeful, we're feeling elated. I could be patient, just sitting here waiting. But I could be down if you wanted to. 'Cause you're giving me that, baby. It's alright. What if you gotta lose? And you're giving me that, baby. It's alright. It's all in the way you move. 'Cause you're giving me that, baby. It's alright. What if you gotta lose?
I feel like we've done a film at this museum before. Or there's just a lot of train museums in the world. I don't know. But anyway. Well lit. All right. Bobby, what did you like?
I was like reading a lot of chat. I'm not gonna lie to you. So initially, I like the use of I like the use of the not speeches. What am I saying? Interviews.
Words. The words that they said.
The words. Yeah, I think it was a nice addition to a film that I think you knew. It's like a smart choice going into it. You knew. Right, this was kind of a DIY wedding. You might not have a ton to work with visually. You just don't really know. And so making the decision to do the interviews, I think, was the right move, and having that buy-in from them. And that I really liked this shot, the one of the groom.
Good light. It looked nice.
Interview. I think the bride interview shot could be framed a little better.
Well, they didn't
or
they didn't
pushed
really
in a little.
match, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you captured some good stuff from the couple, like very representative of them, or wait, is that the right word?
Yes.
Yeah. Of them. Just like, yeah, cute couple, very like in love, and I think you did that justice. Yeah, I think, I don't know, like, it's tough because it is a
DIY.
Yeah, it is a DIY wedding, and that can just be tough. And I like, it's one of those things where I don't remember, Chris, how far you are in your career. And that might be helpful if you're willing to share. But like, I've done weddings like these where you just kind of know it's not going to be a portfolio piece, and that's okay, and you just lean into like the couple. And I think that you did that pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like overall, it looks great. It's super well lit. Obviously there's a lot of good light in the space, so that helps. But the couple seems super, super nice. I heard that you're friends of theirs or whatever. So like, they're just, you seem like you have good friends. Really nice and super sweet, and just that came across. The interviews were nice. You know, like, I don't really have a ton to say that's like super negative about the film either, but I think I'll just get into some of the things I think.
Yeah.
They're just like, they're maybes too. Like, maybe you could do this, maybe you couldn't do this. But I will say one thing that is a definite, which is when you're walking into a situation that is going to be maybe a little different than what you're used to doing, I think you need to throw your rules out the window a little bit. And the thing I think about this film that held it back a little is it had the same structure, the same type of music, a lot of the same things that you would normally see in a wedding film that isn't as DIY. And that's not to say that DIY is worse. I'm saying DIY is different.
It's different, yeah.
And I would say, like, I think it should feel more grounded than it does. And so what that does is it's like when you, like this sequence right here, right? I'm watching this and I'm like, yeah, all this serves to do is highlight the parts that aren't as nice.
Yeah.
You see this mic stand over here, a bunch of speakers,
cords and stuff, yeah.
a bunch of close-ups of plastic cups. There's nothing wrong with that, but I wouldn't choose to highlight those. I probably wouldn't even show a wide shot of the room.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't show close of the tables. I would say, like, what can I do that highlights the beauty of this DIY setup? Like, I would show people, like, I would be like, okay, like this room, but people setting it up.
Yeah.
Like, I would just go with it. I think maybe, like, I would think, like, maybe a little Super 8 or maybe, like, a dad cam, like, shoot a little mini DV. I would shoot some handheld. Like, I would try to show a lot more of, like, the personality of the day and not try to, like, jam this DIY day into a normal wedding film.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I think I've been guilty of that at times too. But yeah, I think a good rule of thumb for me, and I think for other people, is if you're doing a wedding for a friend, if you're doing a wedding on a discount, like I think that's the best time to say, okay, I'm going to break down the walls of what I normally do. This is where I'm going to try something new. This is where I'm going to, like, experiment a little more, because it's like, you know, within reason, right? You're not going to be like, I'm going to do everything at 8 frames per second. And I don't, you know, like, you still have to deliver something good, but, like, there's less pressure when you're doing somebody a favor, or there should be. And there's a certain amount of, like, okay, yeah, I will totally, like, I'd love to shoot your wedding.
Here's my concept.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna try Super 8, or I want to try, running around with a mini DV camera, whatever you want to do. I don't know, or I want to edit,
or literally
style,
like I want to shoot a little more edgy, a little more handheld.
Yeah, I want to shoot darker, or I don't know, whatever it is. And so I think that could have really helped. The other thing I would say, so it's weird because I agree with Jay, like, on that wide shot, and some other shots that kind of fall into that same thing, where I would say, you had some shots where I think you framed them well and intentionally to eliminate any of the, like, let's call it, like, the ugly, right? The not so visually pleasing or not so, like, upscale things. But then, oh, that's cool. Like the bubble gun sound.
Yeah, it's great. This was a good shot.
And then, well lit, like, too. But then the flip side is there's some shots where I think you could have done that better, or where, you know, I don't know if they just happen quickly or whatever, but, like, yeah, I think just paying attention to your backgrounds and, you know, everything else that's in frame.
All that to say, by the way, Bobby, the couple, I'm sure, loved it and thought it was great.
It's very them.
I'm sure they loved it. I just think it could have, you know, how do you make it special? How do you make it like really stand out for you? Maybe you could, maybe couldn't, but maybe just try some things, but, like, try to match the vibe of the day a little more.
I just like the idea of using, like, not even to say, like, oh, it needed this look or that look or this feel or whatever. It's just, like, I like the idea of, like, if you're giving somebody a deal, you're doing it for a friend, whatever, like, make sure you use that to your advantage as a filmmaker.
It needed to be a little more grounded in my mind. It felt like a wedding film that was, like, you're used to
trying to be high end when it's not, like,
you're used to shooting one type of wedding, and this isn't that type of wedding, and I felt like you should have switched things up, especially even in the music choices, just in general. But it's very solid.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, with that, I think we're gonna wrap up. I've got to go check on a bunch of time-lapse cameras that have been rolling for 6 months. So thank you so much for joining. We will see you next week at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can start submitting your films now at the following link that I will slowly copy and paste in chat 3 times in a row. There you go, there you go, there you go. Start submitting now for next week. Let us know if you have any topics that you want us to talk about next week or something. And we will see you then. Leave a like on